Hey, how's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be week 14 of the local tournament reports. This week I ended up playing Noble Knights mixed with Infernoble Knights. Ended up going at 1-3, so didn't do too well, but it is just a fun casual build. So if you're looking to build Noble Knights or play the original Noble Knights, hopefully this deck list can give you a pretty good idea on what to run. And I'll really quickly run through my matchups, then I'll do a quick deck profile. So round 1, I went up against Phantom Knight, ended up losing 1-2. Then round 2, I went against Exo Sister, took that down 2-0. Round 3, went against a Layer of Darkness stun deck. I just couldn't keep up with all of the different interruptions, so I ended up losing that 0-2. Then round 4, I went against Sword Soul. Of course, Sword Soul is such a better deck compared to the Noble Knight archetype, so I ended up losing that 0-2 as well. But overall, of course, I had a lot of fun playing this deck. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know that Noble Knights are my favorite archetype. So yeah, I'm just going to be getting into the deck profile really quickly. If you have any questions or suggestions, consider leaving those in the comment section down below. I'll answer them the best I can. And it's always nice to see some suggestions as well. And if you do enjoy the video, consider leaving a like, subscribe if you're new, always appreciated. But let's go and get right into it. So starting off, 3 Madrat. Of course, the primary starter for my specific build. Always want to see a way to get to him and a Noble Arms equip spell to get the plays going. Next, one of the second best starter, and that is 3 Noble Knight Brothers. If you open up Brothers and 2 other Noble Knights, you can normal summon him and then special summon the other 2 Noble Knights from your hand, so you can get your plays going that way as well. But you are locked to Noble Knight monsters when you use that effect, so keep that in mind. And then the secondary effect is pretty cool as well. You can return 3 Noble Knights and or Noble Arms from your graveyard back to the deck and draw 1 card, and that is once per copy. So if you open up this and then you bring one out with Isolde, you get 2 draws. Very nice. Then for the one of Noble Knights, you get the 1 Dristan, basically just a free pop when it becomes equipped. Then 1 Noble Knight Boars, just to get your trap cards and Guinevere to the graveyard. And it also helps with the Madrat play to go into the ring 5 because Boars and Madrat both become level 5 darks when they're equipped. Then 1 Yvonne, when it becomes equipped, it spawns a token, but if you use that effect, you are locked to Noble Knights for the rest of the turn. So, of course, keep that in mind. And then if it does stay on the field with the Noble Arms equipped spell card, it does give all your Noble Knight monsters a 500 additional attack. So pretty nice. Then we got the 1 Custoden. If you have Noble Arms on the field, you can special summon this from your hand. And then if it's used for an Exceed, Synchro, or Link summon, you get an additional normal summon. And then when you use that effect, you can only special summon Noble Knight monsters for the rest of the turn from the extra deck. Then 1 Gwaine. The reason I only run 1 of each is because, of course, like I said, you need the 1 Noble Arms on the field. And then Gwaine, you need a normal monster light, so it only works well with Yvonne's token, Boars, and Madrat, because of course Boars and Madrat are normal light monsters when they do not have an equipped spell card. For the support cards, we got the 1 Guinevere, Queen of the Noble Arms, and the 1 Merlin. Of course, Merlin can get a Noble Knight from the deck, and Guinevere can be an equipped spell card from the hand or graveyard, giving the monster, depending on the attribute, a different effect. So if it's a light monster it's equipped to, it gives it a Noble Arms of Destiny effect where it protects it from a card effect by sending itself to the graveyard. And then if it's equipped to a dark monster, it gains a catastrophe effect where you send it to the graveyard and it destroys the monster that you're either attacking or that it's attacking the dark monster. So very nice. That'll do it for the Noble Knights. For the Infernoble Knights, we got the 2 Renaud. Very nice. When a Fire Warrior monster is on the field, you special summon this from your hand. Then you can target one of your Fire Warrior monsters or Noble Arms cards that's either in your graveyard or banish pile and add it to your hand. And then it becomes a tuner level 1, of course, so you can go for your synchro plays, or if you run Hulky Firebrax, you can go that route. Then 1 Ogre, just when it's normal or special summon, you get to send a Fire Warrior monster or a Noble Arms equip spell card from the deck to the graveyard. Pretty cool to set up some combos. And then when it's in the graveyard, you can equip it to a Warrior monster. That monster cannot be destroyed by card effect. And then Oliver, you can send a Fire Warrior monster or a Noble Arms equip spell card to the graveyard, or just an equip spell card to the graveyard to special summon it. It becomes a level 1 tuner. And then if it's in the graveyard, it gains the effect to equip to a warrior, and that warrior monster cannot be targeted by card effects, so very nice. For the boss monster for the main deck, of course, the 2 Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. I could definitely run it at 1. I did want to run it at 2 just to try to see it more often, but you can get it with the combo with Ogre and Renaud to add it back to your hand and then special summon it. So pretty cool. So you just basically banish a equip spell card from the graveyard to special summon it, and then if there's an equip spell card on the field and a opponent's monster activates an effect, you send one of your equip spell cards to the graveyard, negate and destroy that monster. Then, if it attacks, you can take one monster that's face up on the field on either player's side and equip it to him. That gives him 500 additional attack. So very nice to get rid of problematic monsters. You don't really see Dragoons too much anymore, but that was kind of the main out for the Noble Knight build. Then for just the only hand trap I run, just 3 Ash Blossom Joy Spring. Of course, you can mess with the ratios and put in a lot more hand traps to kind of make it more competitive, but I did only run the 3 Ash. Next, 3 Heritage of the Chalice. Just searches your Noble Knights or Noble Arms. Very nice. And then if it's in the graveyard and a Noble Knight is destroyed while equipped with a Noble Arms, you get to add this back to your hand. And then 1 Reinforcement of the Army, just to get your Warrior monsters to your hand. And then for the Noble Arms cards, we have, of course, the 2 Destiny. It comes back if it's destroyed, and it gives the monster the effect of it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effect once per turn. And a little interesting thing I didn't know for a very long time, but if they destroy your monster, for example, with like a Regeki, and this saves it, and then they Heavy Storm or Feather Duster this, it will come back onto the Noble Knight, and that monster has to be destroyed again by battle or card effect, and this will save it. So very nice. Then 2 Noble Arms of Caliburn, or Noble Arms Caliburn, sorry. Basically gives the monster it's equipped to 500 additional attack, and then you can gain 500 life points once per turn, but that is not a hard once per turn, so if it leaves the field and comes back, you get an additional 500 life points. Very nice. Then 2 Durendal, just to get your Fire Warrior monsters from the deck. You can equip this to your opponent's monsters as well, and there's some pretty cool interactions with that. But yeah, you basically just get Renaud with that. Then Gallatin, and I also forgot to mention that Caliburn do come back. Durendal does not when it's destroyed, but Gallatin gives your monster 1,000 attack, and during your standby phase, it loses 200. Then Avdutir, another one that comes back. You can pop 1 set card, and if you do end up popping the set card, your monster does lose 500 attack permanently, even if it leaves the field. So keep that in mind. Then the 1 Excalibur does not come back, and it prevents your monster from being targeted, and it can only equip to a Noble Knight monster. So keep that in mind. And to run off the equip spell cards, the 1 Clarent. You can pay 5 life points, and that monster is equipped to can attack directly, so pretty cool. And that'll do it for the Noble Arms and the Searchers. For just kind of the 2 generic spells that I run 2 Cosmic Cyclone, just for back row hit. And then to round off the main deck, the 2 Until the Noble Arms are needed once again. Mainly used for the graveyard effect, but if you do have it on the field with multiple Noble Arms, you can draw that many cards, add one to your hand, and replace the rest on top of your deck in any order. And then when it's in the graveyard, except for the turn it's sent there, banish it to special summon one Noble Knight with a different name from monsters on the field and graveyard. So usually Noble Knight Dristan is the target I go for. Very nice. For the extra deck, really quickly, we got the one Roland, the one High Lancelin, and the one Charles for the synchros. For the Xyz, we got two Sacred Noble Knight of King Kusanen, the one Tsukiyomi. Now we can definitely switch this out for other cards, but I do like running it since most of the Noble Knights are light, and it's just a way to get some more draw power. Then one Evilsworn Exile Knight. Just being able to blow up the field is very nice, can give you some advantage, maybe keep you in the game a little bit longer. Then one Ortorgus. Can be a heavy storm for 2 turns if he does stick. Then one Sacred Noble Knight of King Artorgus. It's a pop that does target, and then when it's sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon one Noble Knight, so it kind of replaces himself. And I also forgot to mention that Sacred Noble Knight of King Kusanen, when it leaves the field, it does use itself as Xyz material for one of your other Noble Knight Xyz monsters, so either Artorgus or Sacred Noble Knight of King Artorgus. And then one Zeus, running a lot of Xyz. If it does stick and you do attack, you can go ahead and put the Zeus on it. So like, for example, of course, if you have the Exile Knight wipe the board, they don't take any damage, but you can still declare an attack, and then you'll have a 1 board wipe Zeus, which can be helpful. Then one Isolde, one Nightmare Unicorn, one Apollosa, one Boral Sword Dragon, and one Boral Low Dragon. Now, of course, if you have Access Code Talker, definitely a better option, and you can mess around with the links in any way you want. You can run more Isolde or anything else. I just run these because, of course, that's the only ones I have currently, and I don't really go into the links other than Isolde most of the time anyways, so they're more or less just filler. But yeah, that was the deck profile, so hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll be having some duel videos, and I'll even be putting some combo videos up later on. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.